A brand new case coming from Montech known as the King65 Pro. I have both variants, which is the white and black, and I'll go through with you what are the differences. But before I begin, I'd like to thank Montech to have provided both cases for me to share with you guys, and to Tech Dynamic to have done the arrangement on the delivery. I will first start off with the distinctive difference between the black case and the white case. As you can see at the bottom where the black case is, the tinted tempered glass is really very dark. It gives you a mysterious look whereby you can't really see the inside component. But rest assured, if the component has ARGB and such, when they lit it up right, you definitely can see through the dark tempered glass. Else, for the white case, right at the top, this is clear glass and you can see everything inside. And both these cases are equipped with pre-installed fans. At the side you will have two 140mm fans. For the white case you will have white fans. For the black case you will have black fans. And inclusive of the rear you have a 120mm fans. Same goes to the black case. And the fans are all ARGB. As some of my viewers have mentioned to me that to cut short I could have done something better, which I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to tell you the measurements and at the meantime removing off the panel. Starting off with the tab, from the front all the way to the back where the tab is 475mm, and to remove off the side tempered glass, all this needed is just remove the thumb screw at the back, then pull this out. While you're pulling this towards you, right, hold on to the front. Now, though this glass panel can hold by itself, but I wouldn't advise you guys to do that. Sometimes accident might happen. So make sure at all times, hold on the lever that is pulling out and to support the glass in front. Then pull it out. And you will expose the interior. As for the front, the width from here to here is at 300mm. And to take out the tempered glass, same thing, you can just hold on this. Make sure you remove the side before you remove the front. Pull it out towards you. And again, supporting the other side. Pull the whole glass out. And it's quite easy. Now, as for the height of the case, is measuring at 442mm. As the gap between the case feet to the base of the case is at 25mm. And as for the back, how you remove it is pretty straightforward. Again, the thumb screw. Oh, just to take note, for the white case, all the thumb screws are in silver color. The black case will have black. So take note on this. Again, supporting the front, holding on to the back, pull. Now, something about the back panel. This is whole piece of metal, but it has 75% of mesh ventilated holes. So this will provide lots of ventilation to your case. And I remove this, right, it will expose the interior. And as for the top, okay, as you can see, there's a gap over here. So you can just tuck your thumb and together with front, you just push it up. See, all these panels are toolless. And at the top, right, this is how it looks like. It's 65% of the mesh with ventilation, which is pretty good. And the construction that I forgot to mention about the top, the side, and the glass, right, you see, it's very sturdy. They have done in a way that they have fold a piece, so this doesn't wobble, which is good. This is the top. Then as for the side, now for the side, it does wobble a bit, but again, they have fold the pieces, which makes it sturdy, see? For the tempered glass, one thing I enjoy what they have done, which is this. See? It gives some rigidity. You can hold on it. Not like some other fish tank case, right? It's very thin. I believe that is due to the design of it, but they have thought about it to strengthen the holding area, which is good. Nice and steady. And this is of 4mm thickness. Same goes to the side panel. Okay, it's 4mm thickness. Now moving to the back, This is how it looks like. We expose all the ventilator holes which are circular, inclusive of the hard disk cage which is inside, and the 7 PCIe expansion slot, and the ventilator areas over here. And at the top, as mentioned to you, this is only meant for 120 mm fans. And right at the bottom of the PCIe slot, this is the whole dust filter, where it filters off the dust when you're mounting the bottom fans, pulling air in, inclusive of your PSU. Well, nice touch. Now, just to show you the top, see, this is the top. And of course, the top, just like the King65 Pro, you can remove the top tray to mount your fans or your radiator. The interior is very spacious to work with. It comes with 7 cutouts. Starting from the top, you have 2. At the side, you have 2 with rubber grommets. And at the bottom, there are 2. A very big cutout at the motherboard area. You'll be able to cater a EATX form factor motherboard all the way to ITX. For fan arrangement, be it the top and the bottom, you'll be able to cater 3 times 120 mm fans, or again from the top and bottom, 2 times 140 mm fans. At the side, you can cater 240 mm fans or 220 mm fans. In fact, I don't think you need to actually change the fans. These are pretty good fans, are reverse blades. Okay, these are 140 mm, 2 of each. Then at the rear, you'll be able to cater for 120 mm fans. Now, for radiator arrangement and the Liquid AIO arrangement, it's similar. Just take note that no Liquid AIO at the bottom. Okay, you can mount it at the top or mount it at the side. Now, for the top and the bottom, for radiator, you can mount 240, 280 or 360. And the side, you can do 240 or 280. And at the rear, 120. That's for radiator. If you want to mount Liquid AIO, you can do it at the top, which is 240, 280 and 360. Now for 280, there is a limit, which I'll show you later. And as for the side, you can only mount a 240 or 280. For your info, I stretched the max limit of what this case can cater with all the PC components, except for the graphic card. Starting off with the motherboard, this is a ASUS ZX790 Maximus Hero, whereby you have the side VRM heatsink and the rear VRM heatsink, which is pretty thick. The height of the side VRM is at 40mm and the rear heatsink is at 45mm. And why am I telling you this? Based on the fact that what I'm mounting at the top is a Liquid Freezer 2 280, which is coming from Arctic. Now take note, be it whether Liquid Freezer 2 or Liquid Freezer 3, of all their sizes like 280, 240, 360, 420, they are of the same thickness, same length, same width. Okay, as in like to their each sizes. So be it whether you're placing a 280 Liquid Freezer 2 or Liquid Freezer 3, not an issue, you can place. As you can see, I've shown you, this is a very thick VRM. Okay, I should say the tallest, and the rear. Yet I can place a 280 Liquid AIO. And if you are placing a 280 at the top, which is from Arctic, be it 2 or 3, 280, make sure you move this to the front. Reason for this, right, you will need to give some space, or should I say, allocate some space for your 8-pin EPS to go through from the back and to be connected to the 8-pin EPS connector over here on your motherboard. If you do not do this right, if you flush it all the way to the back, you're gonna block. See? Okay, probably I'll just show you here. See, it's gonna block. And why am I saying that it's blocking? Take a look at the front. Okay, let me just zoom in so that you can have a better picture. Look, the VRM heatsink is over here at the side, and the radiator fan is over here. So you can imagine that it's actually blocking. So ensure that when you are placing a 280 Liquid Freezer 2 or Liquid Freezer 3, right, make sure you move it to the front to give some space so that you can route your 8-pin EPS cable to connect to this. Now coming to the GPU. Now as you can see at the side, I have mounted a 282 Liquid Freezer 2, or be whether Liquid Freezer 2 or Liquid Freezer 3 280, you can mount, not a problem. But I'll start off with the length of what this case can cater for. Now on specs, the depth of the graphic card, right, you can go all the way to 420. This ASUS 4080 Tough, or should I say 4080 Super Tough, has a depth of 350mm, and there are still plenty of gap over here. And of course you can choose to mount this vertically, but when you're mounting vertically, right, make sure you move the rear fan, because sometimes the height of the GPU, right, might hit this, but there are more than enough clearance for you to place it vertically, no problem. And for vertical mount, I would suggest strongly to purchase Montech VGM version 2, I mean the vertical mount. That is actually a very fantastic mount. In fact, it's very sturdy. Okay, it's plug and play. Once you plug, it will align very properly. You don't have to do any fiddling and such, which I will show you the URL in my description. You can click on it and take a look for yourself how good and sturdy the VGM V2 is from Montech. Okay, now back to the graphic card itself. As I mentioned that I did not stretch this out using the graphic card because I hope that this was a 4090 so that I can show you the strength. Now having said this, right, be it a 4080 or 4090, when you mount it horizontally, take a look. This is of a Liquid Freezer 2 280. Again, be it Liquid Freezer 2 or 3 280, you can mount. Look at the gap. My graphic card is seated properly to the motherboard and I still have gap. And as you know that for this Liquid AIO, right, it has a thickness of 63mm. And why can I fit at the side? Based on the fact that the whole radiator is sitting into this side tray and allowing you to have gap for you to plug your GPU. Now, just to witness, this is a 120. So take a look at the measurement. I'm not lying to you guys that this is actually a 280. See? Maybe I should put it down here. See? And this is a 140, which I took off in order to place the fan. I mean the radiator. Okay, yeah. This is 120, 140, and the size is 140. Okay, same goes to the bottom. And for the top, same thing. Not lying to you guys. Just want to prove, alright? See, this is 140. Oh, probably I should do this. See, not an issue. Now, you might be asking, if I place it horizontally on the graphic card, can I plug the 12 volt high power cable? Take a look at the side. Okay, from here to here, this is 30mm space. You got more than enough clearance to plug. By the way, this height of the 4080 Super, right, is at 150. From here to here, 150. So you have exactly 30mm for you to bend your cable nicely and to plug to the 12-pin high power cable. So if you're thinking of placing this with the 4090, right, I guess the height for the Aorus Master 4090, it should be 163. So even if at 163, right, you still have 17mm gap to do your bending. I mean the nice bending, and to plug your 12 volt high power cable. No issue at all. Now the last point whereby From the motherboard IHS all the way to the side, right, is measuring at 180mm. So if you want to place air cooler, make sure you do not exceed 175mm. And why 175mm? Sometimes based on the fact that the rear, when you place the fan, right, you need to push the fans up. So that's the reason why you need to give some gap. In fact, I would advise not to go above 170 for the air cooler. This is the back of the case where it shows you the cable management. As you can see, all the cables are concealed based on the fact that you have this tray cover over here. And to remove all this tray cover, there are two screws that you need to unscrew, which you can see over here. Kindly do not lose this screw, alright? It's very tiny. So once you unscrew, right, you can just expose the whole area. And best part is that this whole swivel tray, right, you can remove. But before I remove, what this tray does is that you can place 120mm fans, 2 of them, additional to it, which draws in cool air to your radiator. And for this hose over here, right, in fact, at the inner part, you can place 2 SSD, which is 2.5 inch. Now, to remove off this tray, all is needed, right, just leave it out a bit. Then from the top, pull out. See, it's already off. Then you can just detach the whole thing. And when you want to place it back, just catch the bottom part to the bottom hole over here. Then once you have done this, right, just like the removal, just the reverse direction, push it in. See, it's in place. If you do not want this tray, you can totally remove off. Now, the cable management is superb. In fact, all the cables is really managed for you properly. All you need to do is just to plug all the connectors and connectors over here, which I will show you later. Now, there are also some tie points over here, which you have 4. And at the side, right, there are 2 more. Then at the center, you have this 3 Velcro stripe for you to hold on to all these bulky cables, inclusive of all your 24-pin cable and the 8-pin cable, or maybe the 12-volt high power cable. So you can just use this 3 Velcro stripe. Now at the rear, this is the hard disk caddy, and this is where the PSU is at. Now the length of the PSU over here, right, is at 160mm, and you can stretch all the way to 200 and not more. Reason being, right, okay, with this tray on, let me just put this back. This is at 160. If you go 200, it's almost hitting this. So I would say that though the paper spec is written as 200 max, right, I would prefer you guys to keep it at 160. Unless you do not use this tray, then you can stretch all the way to 200, not an issue, even to 220. But when stretching to 220, right, you might, have some obstacle doing your cable management at the center. So try to keep it at 160 with the tray on. Without the tray off, without the tray on, right, it's 200 and not more than that. Now, something I like to talk about the PSU area. Let me just take this out first. Now, it has a very nice sitting area where it cushions. A very nice thinking of what Montech have done. In fact, this was actually carried forward from the King65 Pro, whereby you have this for you to sit your PSU, right, and underneath, right, you can just see this act as a, okay, let me just shift this. See, this act as a holder to hold your cables. So you don't have to feather much about cable management and such, which is very neat. Now, coming to the top, where you have this hard disk caddy. To slot the hard disk, you will need to remove off this thumb screw over here. See, the whole case is out. I mean the whole cover is out. Then in order to access, right, just pinch it and pull it out. Same goes to here. And when you're doing this, right, you can mount two 3.5-inch hard disks, and the mounting area is at the side or even from the bottom. And if you want to mount SSD, you can mount two, which is at the bottom. And to hold the SSD, 2.5-inch SSD, right, is through this holes over here. Nicely done. Now, another function about this caddy itself. Okay, let me just put this back. Was it the other way around? No, it's this way. Okay, another good function about this caddy, you can totally remove off the whole caddy. As you can see, there are 4 screws over here. And you can put it at the bottom. And yes, you can mount your PSU at the top. Because the mounting screw, right, look at the mounting screw on the PSU. We have this, 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 and this. It's the same. See? But one thing you need to take note is that when you shift the PSU up, right, you don't have the privilege like the bottom where you have this cushion for you to sit your PSU. So something to take note. And besides this, right, this caddy itself, right, when you mount two 3.5-inch hard disks, if you want to mount one more 2.5-inch SSD, you can, which you can put it over here. So the total storage, right, if you want to put 2.5-inch SSD, there will be total of 5, which is 1, 2 at the side, the tray here, then 3 inclusive of the inside, which is total give you 5. And if you want to plug 3.5-inch, there will be 2, and to add 3 more SSD 2.5. This case does provide a fan hub and the ARGB controller, and this is located right above the side tray, or should I say where the side fans are. And there are a total of 6 ports, where 3 is already occupied. The first 2, which is the side fan, and the last one, which is the rear fan, leaving you with 3 additional ports, whereby if you want to connect your bottom fans, your top fans and such, you can make use of all this connector over here. At the bottom, these are meant for your fan PWM, which is the 4-pin, and right above are the ARGB 5V 3-pin connectors. Now, in order for this fan hub to work, you will need to connect these cables. Starting with the most important, which is the SATA cable. This is meant for you to connect to your PSU SATA connector, whereby it supply power not only to your controller, or should I say the hub, it will give power to your fans and to the ARGB lightings. Next will be this PWM 4-pin connector, whereby this is to be plugged to your motherboard header, which is any of the fan headers, can be chassis 1, chassis 2, etc. But do take note, if you plug this, let's say, to chassis fan 1, and in UEFI, if you done your fan curve, right, that fan curve will transmit to this hub, whereby all the fans will be controlled only through one instruction. Okay, you can't do that separately. Take note on this. And last but not least, this is optional. Okay, let me just zoom out. In the event if you do not want to make use of the controller, which there's a switch right in front, which I'll show you later, you can press that button to do the ARGB effects. If you want to bypass the switch right in front, you will have to connect this 3-pin 5V ARGB to your motherboard. If you want to make use of your motherboard ARGB utility to control the effects. So having said this, right, there is a method whereby you press the front button to bypass the controller and to make use of the motherboard ARGB utility. Now, some of you will be asking that, hey Kyo, these fans are not the AX fan nor the RX fans. Yes, that's right. These are Montech new fans known as the HP fans. They are rifle bearing fans, and having a rating of 0.15 ampere on the drawing amperage. So it's pretty safe to plug to, if you daisy chain this, right, and to plug to one of the fan headers, right, for example, you plug 3, right, not an issue. I will be showing you where to get this at a later stage. This is the front of the case, whereby on the left, this is where the glass panel is at. And on my right, this whole bar over here is brushed aluminium, but this material is made of plastic. Starting from the top, this is the power switch, followed by the ARGB toggle switch, where I show you the controller. So when you press this, right, it will cycle the ARGB effects of your fans. Over here, the two audio socket, one is meant for your headphone, the other one is meant for your microphone, and two USB Type A port, which is version 3.0, and followed by a Type C port. In order for all this to work, except for the ARGB switch, which is already connected. So for this to work, you will need to connect all these cables, which is attached to the front panel. And of course, all these cables you will need to connect to your motherboard. Starting off with the power switch, you will need to connect this front panel. Then for the audio switch, you will need to connect this HD audio. For the two Type A USB port, you will need to connect to this. Then for the Type C, you will need to connect to this. Just to show you how the ARGB effects are, as I toggle the ARGB switch over here, the color will cycle. The colors are very vibrant and the diffusion is good. See, you can toggle, and these are the patterns that is going to cycle through. Now in the event, as I mentioned to you, if you want to use your motherboard controller to control it, right, what you need to do is just to press this button, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, and when you see the blink, right, see, this is controlled by your motherboard, which I have another controller with me. See, these are the different patterns. And if you want to go back to the switch again on the case, you just press, see, you will go back. This is controlled by the toggle switch on the case itself. Again, if you want to go to the motherboard, right, you can just press and hold until it blinks. See, this is your motherboard mode. So you can cycle through your motherboard. And in the event, okay, let's say I want to do this. Okay, back to here, right? In the event, if let's say you do not want to plug to your motherboard, okay, when you toggle the switch, right, it will be off. Let me just show you. Now, assuming this is actually toggle through the case fan, the case switch, you want to off this ARGB totally, you just hold on it until it blinks. See, it's off. A very nice neat feature whereby you don't have to install ARGB program on your motherboard, and sometimes that will actually hog your system resources. So it's best, for me, I would prefer to use a physical controller where you can just toggle, turn it on. See, this is physical control. It doesn't require your system to control it. And if you want to off it, right, just hold on it. Once it's blink, you can just let go. It will just turn off. These are the accessories that is packed in this box. And of course, all is packed in this Ziploc bag. And it does come with an instruction manual where it's provided with this Ziploc bag to protect it. and it does show you how the mounting is and such. Oh, regarding about the top section, I forgot to mention that the 4 screws, right, you can remove from the top and to remove off, so that you can mount your fans or radiator separately before you mount the whole top tray back to the case. Now there will be quantity of the accessories, which I will talk about it right now. First, you have this bottom fan screws, total of 12. Then you have 12 AIO screw. What is this for? Well, in the event, right, at the top cover, if you use the original radiator screws and you can't close the top cover, you can make use of this screw. In fact, it's advisable to use this screw on the radiator so that your top cover can shut properly. Next, you have this bag of screws, which is meant for your motherboard or SSD. 4 standoff SSD screw, which is meant on the hard disk caddy, which I showed you earlier, right above the PSU mounting. So these are only meant for the SSD at the top, which is facing outside. 4 additional standoffs, a mounting standoff tool, whereby you place, let's say you want to place the standoff, this additional standoff to your case, right? You can use this tool, plug it in, see it fit nicely. Then you can use a screwdriver to screw in order to fasten the standoff, the motherboard standoff. Additional clip, because this for your side panel or the front, etc., you will need to use this clip if it's broken, so you can use this to replace. These are the PSU screws, 3.5 inch screws, I mean the hard disk screws, and a couple of zip ties, total 5. The price for this Montech King65 Pro is less than $100. As you can see, Newegg have already listed the price, but of course this list that is showing over here from Newegg and Amazon is not publicized yet. These are all the pre-prepared lists, which you have the QR code over here. You can scan it and it will take you to the individual respective case, which is black or white, and also to the platform. Now, probably you wait for a day or two, this will be listed on Newegg and Amazon. Speaking of which, regarding about the fans, I mentioned that it's not on the AX or RX fan. In fact, these are all the HP fans, which I list over here, which is shown in Amazon. You can scan the QR code and to purchase the HP 140. As for the HP 120, I do not have news about it yet. If you want to know more, right, probably you can actually search in Amazon probably a couple of hours later for the HP 120 ARGB. If you're not able to find it, probably you can head down to Montech Reddit forum and to ask. Their support team and the sales team, right, is pretty responsive. Once you ask, they will answer you, if not the following day, based on the time zone difference. So take note on this. Now, another thing I like to highlight is regarding about this VGM version 2 vertical mount bracket. To me, this is a very good choice if you want to mount your GPU vertically. It can take up to 3 slots for the version 2. Now, I do have both version 1 and version 2, but before I show you this, if you want to purchase this, right, this is already physically at Amazon. You can scan the QR code and to purchase it directly. Now, before I show you the what's so great about this VGM 2 vertical bracket, right? All this QR code, the URL, I will list them in my description too, just in case you can't scan the QR code. Now, regarding about this VGM, right, if you scan this, right, it will take you to the Reddit forum of Montech, and I did a full explanation of how great this VGM V2 is. Now, just to show you, okay, where is it? Let me see. Is this the one? Okay, just to show you that originally I was amazed with their original version, which is the VGM, but this only allowed two socket GPU. So if I were to play, this is where I show my viewers that I fixed the the GPU on this bracket, which is the VGM original version. So when I fix it, right, okay, let me just fast forward. I took my level meter to gauge how balanced it is. See, the bubble, be it I place to the back or the front, is dead center. Now with this slate, right, I have built this team build, which is my Sonic, which is also using the vertical mount bracket, which is the VGM version 2. Okay, which looks like this. Oops. Okay. Again, I am surprised based on the fact that the water level, right, or so I say the gauge level, right, is dead center. It's just plug and play. I don't even need to feather or to adjust anything or to put any support bracket. The best part is that I don't even need to put support bracket beneath just to push the GPU up. It's so sturdy. That's the reason why I'm actually introducing to you guys. And if you want to know the whole story, right, I have the whole story over here, which I explain why is this that great. And how to get to here, you can just scan the, let's see, where is it? Over here? Oops, no. I lost my project. Okay, this one, yeah. You can scan this QR code and it will take you to the information of how I explain. It's real good. I have something I got to apologize regarding about the accessories. I took the wrong package. In fact, this is for the black case, whereby all the stuff are in black. On the actual package for this white case, all the screws are in silver and all these peaks are in white. In fact, it's catered for the white version. Now, regarding about my thoughts on this case, I feel that the quality is the same as the King65 Pro. In fact, the way they design it and such is similar to the King65 Pro, but with lots of improvement. First thing, I like how it is at the top where it covers. It's not as flimsy as the King65 Pro. See, it's pretty sturdy. It's whole block. And also to the fact, I like what they have done on the glass panel. See, it's very solid construction. And as compared to the King65 Pro, I've been using the King65 Pro for some time. And just to show you, this is the side panel of my Sonic headshot theme. See, this is actually what happened. The glass filter, or should I say the dust filter, came off. And I will need to do something about it. Because I do regular cleaning, that's the problem when I see it. I probably have to glue this back. But for this case, right, it does not have this kind of issues. See? Not at all. And to me, it's not an issue whereby I do regular cleaning. So even if dust were to collect in, right, I don't have much problem with this. Now, as for the thermal, I did try on mounting my Sonic into this case itself. Now, the temperature between the King65 Pro and this, the slight difference is only about 2° difference. And reason being, right, well, for King65 Pro, the front is actually curved. In fact, this does have the footprint of the King65 Pro, which is curved, see? And the tray at the side, you can remove all this thumb screw and to move to the front. But this case does not have a front mesh, where else the King65 have. So I hope that Montech can actually, plan to do a additional add-on, as in like having the front mesh, so that you can make use of this to swivel to the front, since you have already done similar to the King65 Pro. Now back to where I was, the thermal that I've tested, exactly the same setting as what I've done on my King65 Pro, which is my Sonic theme. Now as I test the temperature, right, based on the fact that I didn't test on this fans because I do not have enough of this fans, so I got to use the AX and RX. As mentioned to you, the thermal results, this is only about 2 degrees higher as compared to the King65 Pro. Other than that, it's everything the same. And besides this, yeah, nothing much that I want to criticize about this case at all. In fact, it's everything nicely done. And as in spec on both case, right, the black and this, the alignment is nice, which I like. Now something might be off when I look at the colors, right, on the metal and the plastic, right, it's of two-tone color. Now maybe this is actually not a big deal to some, but to me it's like, it could be improved. But since this is at a price point of below $100 USD, right, it's perfectly fine. It's not so obvious when you look from far. It's just that when you look at it closely, right, then you will see the difference on the colors. Other than that, all nicely done. I like the diffusion of the ARGB, the fans and everything. And best part, I like the toggle switch on the ARGB. I don't have to install garbage software on my system just to control the ARGB. So sorry about this, because it's like I am a typical person that do not like to use software to control the ARGB. I know you can do tons of things with it, as in like the patterns, but it's just that to me it doesn't make any sense, because what I want off from a system, right, is performance and a bit of aesthetic. That's it. Full on thermal, full on performance, and that's it. Other than that, like, ARGB stuff, I'm not really fancy into it. Now besides this, something I would like Montech to do is, can they design this, the bottom dust filter, right, to put at the front. It makes things so much easier because I don't have to move the whole case out in order to clean the dust filter, which I had on my King65 Pro, which every time I have to carry it out before I can do my cleaning. So this is one of it. Other than that, everything is pretty solid. And fantastic arrangement on the radiator, as I show you, together with the graphic card, how big it is. You have no issues thinking of whether there are gaps for you to place the 12-volt high power. And also inclusive, if you want to mount a Liquid Freezer 2 or Liquid Freezer 3 280 at the side, you can just plug your whole graphic card horizontally. And best part, as I mentioned, right, Montech, seriously, they have done a very good job on the VGM brackets. Vertically mounted, and there is an advantage on using vertical mount brackets. That's to me, because if you were to plug horizontally, right, the hot air dissipating through your head, dissipating through the heatsink, right, is going directly to your motherboard, which your motherboard will absorb the heat. If you put it vertically, right, in fact, the air is pushing it up directly through the fin stack of the GPU and up to the top, which is great. And a trick to this, okay, a lot will just place the radiator at the top, be it 360, 280 or whatever. Speaking about the radiator, right, now a lot have actually asked me this question. I've shown them that you can place a 280 rad at the top. They still want to ask whether can I put a Liquid Freezer 360 at the top. Look, a 280 is this wide, right, with the thickness this thick. So if you want to do a 360, right, the width will be shorter. Even if you exceed 70mm or whatever thickness, right, you still can go into the top. Not an issue, be it Liquid Freezer 2 or Liquid Freezer 3. Alright, so have this bear in mind that 280 is this wide, as I've shown you in the illustration. So 360 is shorter due to the fact that it's 120mm compared to 140. Alright, so I would say that this is actually fantastic. And a tip, as earlier on I mentioned, right, if you really want a very good airflow, in this case, be it a King95 or King65 Pro, have your radiator at the side. And to have vertical mount. Reason being, right, you're pushing your hot air in, okay, cool air to go through the radiator, hot air in, having the cool air draw from the bottom, it pushes up where your vertical mount GPU is, right. The heat will generate all the way up to this area. Same goes to the hot air that's coming in. When you push everything out, right, this area here without the radiator is open because you only place fans. So you just dissipate all the heat out. This will give it more efficient by keeping your motherboard cool. Your component, if it runs cool, right, it will excel even further. So this is actually the experience that I have on the King95 Pro, and this is of no difference. It's the same. In fact, I really like how Montech have actually designed the, recess of the side, where I'm able to put a 280 at the side. And best part, I can do push-pull configuration. I can do it here, then at the back. Okay, I can just remove, sorry, I should have removed this, sorry. You can still put two fans at the back to do a push-pull configuration. No issue. And you still can slot your card or even vertically. Alright, hope you guys have actually enjoyed what I've shared with you. I have speak a lot about this case. In fact, I like both cases, King95 or King65. This is of a better choice, as in like more budget friendly. Thank you to Montech to provide this case for me to share with you guys, and to Tech Dynamic to have done the delivery. And for those of you actually new to my channel, welcome to my channel. If you like my content, do remember to subscribe and to click on the notification bell button. Till then, take care, goodbye, see ya.